Hello from Paul John Whisky. Today I'm here with you to celebrate Father's Day with a really special friend of mine who is also dad, of course. And we're going to have a dram or two, talk about Father's Day, and talk about what it is to be aged, not old. So I'm happy to welcome my dear friend, Mr. Mayur, who is also known as Whisky Goodness. Hello, Mayur. How are you doing?
Hello, Koray. Good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Still
It's
living.
uh, it's been a few days since we've had a dram together, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that we could share an experience for Father's Day together.
Sure, like I'm not a father, but you are, and it makes your life so special as far as I know.
It's
And
true.
now,
It
and now
does.
you're a puppy dad too.
Yes, I am. And puppy dad takes father to a whole different level, especially when the puppy and the real baby are 11 years apart. It's really like bringing up a new baby again. So I'm happy to be a dad a second time.
Also, nice to hear that, man. So, oh, I can see that wonderful lineup of Paul John. Yeah.
Yes.
You might have a better lineup than me. It's like it's right there, but you can see properly.
I don't know. Your lineup is pretty good.
Thank you very much. So, what are we tasting today? What do you want to taste?
Um,
What do you actually have in your glass?
Actually, I already have in my glass. I poured out some Mithuna, the latest from Paul John.
All right.
I poured out a bottle that I had, and more that I have off it as well.
Well,
I'm eager. I'm
already
eager to try it.
I'm already at the album. Well,
See,
it's
there
good.
you go.
Just for the ones who don't know, Me Tuna is the latest release from Paul John Whisky. It's a really special release. In the Zodiac range, we had a bottle called Kanya, and this is the second one. So Kanya meant Virgo, Indian counterpart of Virgo in the Zodiac sign. And Mithuna is the Indian counterpart of Gemini. So if you're born around this time, this is a perfect bottle for you. And that's lovely to taste it with you because you have been a really good supporter for Paul John, friend of Paul John for a long time.
Of course.
But how I want to start this conversation is, do you have any memories with your father about whiskey?
Yeah, actually. So a little bit of background for me. I live now in San Francisco, but I grew up in Mumbai. I lived in Mumbai for through my teenage years and early 20s. Um, Memories I have, my father loved whiskey. Uh, uh, my father loved drinking whiskey in different approaches. When I say different approaches, an exploration of highballs, an exploration of whiskey on the rocks, whiskey neat. Obviously, with the climate that it is in Mumbai, whiskey neat was not that often with the heat and the humidity that's there. As you know, I think you've been there, so you can imagine how it has been. Um, every Sunday, my dad would open up his bar, take out a crystal decanter, and pour himself a nice, healthy pour of whiskey. This used to be a routine every Sunday. We used to have friends over, and they'd have whiskey too, whiskey soda, whiskey with ice, but there was always whiskey involved. And I remember that very clearly. His crystal decanter, which I actually may have it somewhere around here as well. Um, and that was always a memory for me. That's how I got my introduction to whiskey. Maybe not, you know, through the right channels or at the legal age, but getting a smell of it, getting a whiff of it, the aromas really remind me of back home when I sip on whiskey or nose a really delicious whiskey as well.
Well, as a father, do you want to taste it with me right now?
Yes, that's
Cheers.
cheers.
So just to give you an overall understanding of Mithuna, for the ones who are watching this, Mithuna is aged predominantly in American Virgin oak barrels, which gives this special color to the whiskey. It's all natural. There's no coloring agent in this. And it's then finished in ex-bourbon barrels. And the reason for that is virgin oak gives a lot of those spicy notes, those vibrant aromas to the whiskey. So it sometimes has to be trimmed a little bit on the edges. And that ex-bourbon barrels that we are using is actually trimming those off with a little bit of vanilla and coconut. And this whiskey has given me a lot of different nuances when I first tasted, but I want to hear yours first.
I think you called it out pretty well that the new American oak has the spiciness to this, the bite, the cardamom, the cinnamon. Um, the the finish does bring out a very vanilla, smooth, uh, honey flavors. It has a really nice long finish. It lingers around and makes you want to drink more.
Yeah.
And so I want to drink more before I can give more notes on it because this is really delicious.
Please take your time. Oh my god! The first time I smelled this, I actually rolled on my tasting notes. Like I smelled Pinot de Choron, and at the same time I was tasting with another bar manager in Oakland. Weird enough, and he came out with like, "Koray, you have to taste the bottle." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's taste. What is this?" And he was like, "William, by the way, from Greeting Bar." I was like, "This is a white brandy, and it exactly has some notes. And when you taste it, yeah, it has some Pinot de Choron notes, and it has some white brandy notes at certain parts because of the American Virgin Oak. Probably, I feel some rye spices coming up.
Yeah.
But when you drink it on the palate, it just ends up everything so imbalanced, like in a really intense way, but still in balance. And that's the part I'm in love with, the palate.
It does. I think the nose is fantastic. The nose definitely has, as you said, hints of rye, and reminds me of rye and American bourbons. The palate does trigger senses from different spices. It has a nice sweet finish to it. It has a delicious honeysuckle notes to it. Lots of dry fruits. I'd say prunes, cranberries. Even figs and pears. I think it's delicious. It's definitely an all rounder that wants to trigger all the different senses in your mouth. You can't just nail it with one sip or one part of it, because every sip that you take starts exploration of more of the palate.
Oh, love the description a lot. But I also have to ask you, Me Tuna is quite new for you right now, but what has been your favorite Paul Jonathan now? Or
for me,
this way, sorry, since your father was a whiskey-loving man, what would you share with him?
My father would love the classic.
Yeah.
A classic has the elements and the balance of being cast strength, higher proof, especially since he would have it with ice or as a highball. The higher proof is what would be preferred by him. It gives it enough of a saturation where you still get the oomph of the whiskey, and you get the delicious notes of it as well. Classic is something you would definitely like. He wasn't much of a peated fellow, but for me to sip on, I love the bold. I've loved bold from day one. Bold is what got me into the world of peated whiskeys, and ever since then, I've never looked back.
Perfect. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And your daughter is just 11 years old, so I think we have 10 more years for her to share some.
She has a while to go. She has quite a while to go, and I'm hoping that I can have a lot of the delicious whiskeys that I have right now with her when she's old enough. And I'm hoping that on Father's Day and on her birthday, we can open something special. I'm going to try to save at least some of the XO for when she is old enough. The XO holds a special place for me, at least from a design perspective, because
tell us why.
the XO contains an image of a peacock on the label, and it's a well embossed label. My name Mayur means peacock as well. So for me, it's a very special design. It's a very special bottle. Uh, Aside from that, the taste is delicious. It it would 100% remind people of um, bourbons and grapes and raisins. It gets in all the notes accurately.
Incredible, man. Well, XO is called my secret love. It's actually right there, standing
Yeah,
at the
I can
beginning.
see it. It's such a different shape of a bottle that it's easy to recognize from a distance.
Kudos to the branding team at Paul John Whisky. They have been doing an amazing job with the creation of new bottles, new packaging, and every other packaging is just so exciting. And now we have the Christmas edition coming in the second half of the year. So it will be so fun to see the new packaging. I know it, I cannot share, but I know what's coming.
Okay. I was about to ask what is coming. What else should I get excited about?
Well, let me put it this way. For the Christmas edition, there's something coming that we are really excited about. We have been waiting over years for that, and that's one thing. But it will be worth the wait. Then hopefully in the next year we will have some new expressions coming out too. But this year was really busy enough. Like starting from pandemic, we released Nirvana in the United States, which is a big hit. Then we brought the XO and Oloroso, PX and Oloroso. Our limited edition bottles now they're in the market. Then Me Tuna came out and XO came out. So there's like a lot of bottles to enjoy until the next one, I guess.
Okay. Let me ask on the Mithuna. I have a bottle, or actually I have a couple bottles. How many bottles were released of Mithuna?
So if I'm not wrong, there should be 6,000 around.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's for the United States.
No, that's globally.
That's worldwide. Okay, yeah. That's pretty limited. That's pretty good.
No, it's always that limited with zodiac signs. The first one was Kanya, and it's lost already. We don't have any. If you're not in Michigan.
Maybe it's worth a trip to Michigan for that.
Maybe. Well, I only have one left just right here, so this one.
Okay. I think I need to make a visit to you sometime.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know if you would know about the colors or the design of the label. This has a good green and a gold.
So everything on the labels, they're representing a part of India. And of course, there's a good part of the production too. So let me say, if you see a gray color in our bottles, that means that it's peat.
Okay.
Peat. And of course, there are the usages of Christmas editions. It has been white, yellow, sort of white, green, and red until now. So colors of Christmas. Then with Nirvana, we have gone a little bit national with the orange color that we are using on it. But every other label in Paul John, every other branding that we do actually has a meaning. Like Brilliance has a name from the brilliant culture and nature of India. The edited actually is coming from the edited version of Brilliance. Then we had a classic because it's so classically Goa.
It is
what we call the Goa in a bottle. And
it is. Classic is a fantastic green. I love the color of the classic. It is very India. It is very Goa.
If you can show the PX or Oloroso package, it will actually show a cultural integration, which is actually a gold and the red, like a livid Bordeaux-looking red. So that's a symbolism of India together with Spain, because we are using Oloroso and PX barrels from Spain, and we are putting an Indian whiskey in it. So that's a great showcase of how we actually bring the cultures together in our whiskey.
Interesting. That I didn't think of that. That the reds were more for the sherry influence of
the PX and
Oloroso. Yeah.
And
That's
we're beautiful stuff in the packages. I can tell you that.
I love the packaging. I love the minute gold writing on the Mithuna packaging. The writing in Hindi on the Oloroso and the PX packaging as well.
Maybe,
I think those details.
maybe we should have a meeting with the branding team just to understand better part of how we do
I,
it.
I think that's a fantastic idea. It would be great to understand. For me, labels play a big part, right? In the olden days, well, when I say olden days, when I was a kid, uh, bottles were always a single shape, and there weren't too many colors. It was either a black or a gold or a red or a blue, and that was about it. Now there's so many variations. It used to be all stickers. Now there's fantastic embossed bottles, etched bottles, and it's lovely to see how the branding team comes up with different colors and different aspects of the labels.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. Well, I want to thank you for your time today and wishing you a great Father's Day
Thank
with your
you.
family, with your new puppy, and just to cheers to all of the dads around. We are aged, but we are not old. Uh,
Aged but not old.
Very well matured. Let's put it that way. And cheers to all the fathers, starting from you, man. And
Cheers.
thanks for your Paul John love. Thanks for being a friend of Paul John. Cheers.
Of course. Thank you. Cheers.
Have a great one, Mayur. Nice to see you.
You too. Nice to see you.